As far as it being a PC rom-com, was there like a controversial rom-com that you were hoping this would emulate? Or something some like edgy Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan movie that this was supposed to be the Asian equivalent of?
What's up, haters? Welcome to Boss Level 8, where we make fun of movie critics. We watch Crazy Rich Asians, and some people love it, some people hate it. We thought who better to have on our show to help us make fun of the negative reviews of this movie than Rod and Vince from RKVC, our good friends. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell right next to it so you can get notified every single time we have a new video. Now, you may have liked Crazy Rich Asians, but here's a bunch of people who hated it.
It was a very boring movie. I was excited to see it after the great reviews on it, but I was very disappointed. It was not a comedy, and my friend fell asleep. I mean, it wasn't Dumb and Dumber. There was romance.
That's the comedy.
That's the comedy. Got it. That's why you should never watch a movie before eating Chinese food.
Because you have to watch another one right after?
Yeah, because you have to, I don't know.
Okay, here we go. Well, I'm here for a very clear reason, because I asked to be racist. Saw this movie 2 days back. Yes, it is the first time you're seeing an all-Asian cast. The movie has many hilarious comments. The story is very weak. This is like a backhanded compliment from a drag queen. It's a same story, which has been repeated many times over, especially if you are an Indian. Seeing it in many Hindi movies. The rich Asians are shown to be crazy about clothes and material things. They are shown to be very superficial, which is not a fact in real life. I have some rich Asians that are not like the people depicted. This is the Asian equivalent of like, I have that black friend, so it's cool. He's like, my Hindi friend think it's fine.
I'd also like to point out that this is not the first time we're seeing an all-Asian cast. It's the first time we're seeing an all-Asian cast in Hollywood. Asia makes movies.
Wait, what? They do?
Very predictable soup opera. I'm guessing it's Egg Drop.
This was not funny at all and was trying way too hard. Not sure it got about 90% on either critic or audience. Okay. Overrated and totally chick flick. Skip this one.
There's just no response.
I'm rich, but I don't care about money because I'm in love. The end.
Is that really what that says?
That is what that says.
Oh my god. I didn't know people actually talk like that.
Oh, well, I also think that's his one-line plot of the movie. Although I would rather it be like you actually saying this because clearly you're not.
Bourgeois propaganda disguised as a PC rom-com. Technical aspects were fine, but all I see is a cheap gimmick that pretends to have a good representations of Asian culture in order to deflect criticism. There are way better movies depicting Asian culture without rubbing wealth in the face of drooling materialistic audiences. Asia deserves better representation in the West than a viscous and vulgar headache, showing that the rich are better than everyone. Why hasn't anyone praised... I can't pronounce any of these names. Hi, my name is Rod. I grew up in Indiana. I don't know. Why hasn't anyone praised Takashi Mike or Miike for Sukiyaki Western Django? Those were words in an arrangement that I didn't understand. But I'm not sure. Maybe go look at that review. As far as it being a PC rom-com, was there like a controversial rom-com that you were hoping this would emulate? Something some like edgy Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan movie that this was supposed to be the Asian equivalent of?
Valentine's Day was hardcore.
Right? This is where Taylor Swift really showed her teeth.
Joe versus the Mongolian grill rice volcano.
What about Rush Hour? Simple, predictable, boring, mediocre acting, lame attempt at comedy. I'm getting all the spelling ones. Man, it's really rough when like you're trying to make a point and then like you have a typo that just makes you sound like a dumbass. That's really, really rough. Lame attempt. For some reason, I immediately think of the movie Kingpin and a really bad pun about bowling when I hear lame attempt.
Humdrum love story, totally predictable and formulaic. Pathetic, like your review. Jesus, totally predictable? Come on, man. Don't you have any sense of art and direction? Damn it.
Did he do that again?
This movie is awful. It's basically an ad for being rich in Singapore. I actually left halfway through because it was so insufferable to go to Singapore. Man, you are susceptible.
Typical love movie where they wait to proclaim their dying love for each other at an airport. But overall, it was mildly humorous. That's kind of what we wanted to see. Now, I actually thought it was a really clever ending, but they did give you the satisfaction. Like, every great rom-com ends up at the airport. Like, Friends and all the Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks movies and stuff, so... the Langoliers. I thought it was really clever how they were able to work in the 90s rom-com trope in the 2000s, and they did do the whole, like, airport thing. I don't know. But Asians. So. Who's seen an Asian in an airport? We're all in the back room.
John Cusack standing in the rain with a pan flute. I've seen this storyline before. This is a comedy? I didn't laugh. I was waiting, but didn't laugh. I feel like that's kind of a problem, waiting to laugh. Isn't that a play? That doesn't really matter. I feel like that's a bit of a problem. Like, if you go to a comedy, it's like, at some point I'm gonna laugh. The more you sit there going, I'm gonna laugh at some point, you're never gonna laugh at that point. Like, you get 10 minutes into a movie and you start waiting for the funny, you're not open to the funny anymore. It's just not gonna happen. That's just how it is. And yes, this is a comedy. Just because you didn't think it was funny, it doesn't mean that all of the other people who thought it was funny are wrong.
Too broad a title. Is it a comedy? Sorta? Shut the fuck up. Jesus. You actually took the time to type these out? Get back to your house. Go to your home. Stay off computers.
I've been trying to figure out where you're from.
I keep changing it.
Like, you were Jewish when you started out reading the review, and then you ended like Italian, and then went into Native American.
Go to house. Stay in room.
Not as interesting as I thought. Wait, Vince, say that in one of your accents.
Not as interesting as I thought.
Oh god, this is from an Asian. This is gonna be worse. Okay, terrible movie. First hour was okay-ish, but after it just crashed and burned in the most boring fashion ever. Nothing makes sense. All the elements don't add up. Story is full of holes. So anybody that uses the term okay-ish in a written review immediately gets docked 2 points. I don't know if you're looking for something with like a bulletproof storyline and that doesn't have plot holes. Like, literally part of the definition of rom-com is full of holes that need to be filled.
That's porn!
It's a rom-com to me.
It's a chick flick made for dumb MTV people with glamorous looking people with exaggerated characters. Don't waste your monies. Watch it on Netflix if you're bored at home. Good to see all Asian cast, but quite a disappointment. There's no picture, but I am assuming that you are 67 and angry. You MTV people spending all your monies on movies like this when you could just watch it on the old television with your Netflix did you know that you could just get a subscription with the thing and use the remote? You can find all kinds of... When I was your age, we had to actually remember when shows were on and make sure we were home. So we had to leave the girl that we were sleeping with that wasn't our wife just to come home and watch the honeymoon. Yeah.
Unremarkable, predictable, no surprises, paint-by-numbers movie. The characters are somewhat likable, but it is a Hallmark movie? Come on. It wasn't a Hallmark movie, no one had cancer, and it wasn't Christmas. So what are you talking about?
Hey, thanks so much for watching. We don't normally have 4 people on the screen, and so he's lighting himself with a flashlight on his phone. Professional YouTubers. Yeah. We'd like to thank Rod and Vince of RKVC for being on our show. They're very good friends of ours, and they were just here.
I'm thankful that my role wasn't recast with Scarlett Johansson by the end of the video.
Oddly enough, Vince's was. That being said, you can check out RKVC's channel. There's a link in the description. Make sure you go to that and check out their stuff. They have a brand new song coming out very soon. Very songly. Very songly. It's called Wrong Things, Right People. We've already heard it. We highly recommend it when it comes out. Go spam the crap out of iTunes and buy the shit out of it. Yeah. Yeah. And there's also going to be a video of people reacting to it, and we are in it, and that's going to be a lot of fun to watch, which is really cool. If you haven't subscribed, and if it's your first time here, make sure you do that. You can see a couple videos on the screen. You should click one of those as well. And until we see you guys next time, geek out and game on. Ooh. This went very well.